last thing, and I won't waste any more time, but there is this interesting thing where it flip-flops between you roll for these or you roll or the GM, the adventure guide rolls for these. For example, I have glass blowing, and I'm going to roll when I make glass objects.
Right.
I know how brittle they are, but if I make a weapon, you have to roll for it.
That's
because
interesting,
I don't know when it may break. I don't know if it's a good one or a bad one.
Huh.
So
That's interesting. So
there's a lot of stuff like that.
right. So I'll pay attention to that, because often in practice, I'm a very transparent player. And if I'm the game master, then I'm very transparent. And even in games that completely assume that there is a dungeon master screen, I say screw it. You know, I've been known to terrify people by just putting out the map and rolling openly and saying, "Okay, you guys are here." I don't feel like bullshitting. You know, your character doesn't. You know the difference. I trust you. You're here, right? And people who aren't used to that are kind of like, "Oh my God, he can't lie."
How can he save me?
Where did our safety net go? Where did the safety net go if he can't lie? He can't fudge for me if he does that. That's terrifying, right? So it's kind of an interesting phenomenon. In this case, though, let's go ahead and honor that. Let's keep an eye on who's supposed to roll and know the result.
For all of my skills, I've written on my sheet.
Oh, okay.
Rolling.
Let's take a look at those for everybody and say, all right, which one of these is the game master supposed to roll? And all I know is that I've tried. And I do have a glass dagger. I do have that. That's not what I was rolling for. I can make the glass dagger. What I'm rolling for is how good is it?
Yes, precisely.
I don't know.
For example, there is the text, and the you are. If I write something, I am a poet, by the way. I have poetry. So if I write something, you are going to roll to see if this is readable and if it's good. I don't know if it's good stuff and if it's clear. I don't know when I read something. I don't.
For most games, I dislike all that nonsense.
But
in this one, the way you're talking about it, it sounds kind of appealing. Yeah.
Yeah. It struck me. Yeah.
So,
and it seemed kind of fair. I mean, it never goes,
it's not about screwing the player over.
He's going gotching you. It creates contingency in a way.
Yeah.
It sounds like, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll take a look at the skills that everybody has and make sure we know which is which, because I can think of some of them being awfully interesting in that way. I mean, you can think you found this plant. You found a plant. You're pretty sure it's this kind.
Yeah.
So every time you say, "Oh, I want to find this kind of plant," I say, "Sure, find some," and you're like, "Oh shit." Who knows what on earth I just picked up? That's an interesting.
We may have to make something up there, because I like the idea of.
Yeah.
Well.
No, I agree. I mean, who knows what on earth you actually found? I kind of like the idea of making a table or something. So, all right, let's go ahead and work with this. I'm going to suggest, given the characters, and adjust this if you want to, but I'm going to suggest that by the time we start playing, that Lorenzo's character has gone so far as to communicate with, and establish personal connections with one of the local Duster tribes, and that would include Helma's character.
Okay.
And
perfect.
Then from there we can talk about some family connection outward to the tribe that Sam's character is in. Does that
awesome? Yeah.
So your characters don't necessarily have to be all teamed up, but there's enough connection there for the activity of play, so that at least two of you can sort of look over and see the other character, in their community, and we can start with a fairly obvious circumstance in which your characters are at least pointed at one another.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of ideas for sort of the opening bang of the situation. So
okay.
You can
awesome.
Yeah, so I do like the idea of the naturalism of play there's to be involved. I really a day in the life, from a duster, half
Yeah.
duster driver standpoint is already interesting enough. That I can see it taking a little time for those, and I can. My task is to work on that family stuff and to work on non-player characters with opinions. That's where I'm at.
Hmm.
Um, so so yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah.
What it's worth.
Awesome.
If all of you would like, please write your characters' names in the chat.
Okay.
If you have any, or come up with them
Yes.
Okay. So cool. Sorry not to play tonight, but I think you can agree that this is a game where we kind of have to get our percentages and our concepts a little bit nailed down first. Yeah, Helma, did you have something?
I wonder if you would do me a favor, because I'm still feeling pretty insecure.
Mm-hmm.
If I send my character sheet over,
Oh, no
my
problem.
first step,
Anybody
when I have
can-
it ready,
Yeah, if
could you take a look at it
Of
before
course.
I start having it up?
Mhm.
And as well as the earth spirits I choose, or miracles, or whatever you call them, because I have one where I really have difficulties to understand how I should handle it.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
one that is called Summon Earth Spirit,
Right.
and I don't get the stats of the Earth Spirit. I don't think I understand how I have to handle it. I
see.
can see the numbers, but they make no sense.
Okay. I'll check them out and see what I can make of it.
Especially when it comes to what's it called? Initiative?
Right. Right. Oh man. I'm just
I'm sorry.
No,
I can
it's okay.
just
It's
choose
just
another one.
no, that's fine. I was just thinking about
I
what the
like
game is
the
offering
idea
for
to
us.
have a
Right.
buddy that can cause an earthquake.
No, you
I can
go.
cause them myself otherwise.
No, I was going to say. I mean, I kind of like the idea of hi, I'm just a little gardener, tattoo lady, tribal weirdo. I get it. Oh, by the way, you pissed me off. You're buried alive. Done. Settled there. We solved that problem.
The more I read the book and the tables, the more I felt that way. So it felt quite naturally at that point.
I get that, and I will say this: their magic in this book really takes off. I mean, the spells are not trivial. Once you get going, if you look at the wizard stuff, the magic. I mean, your character can, shoot death bolts and stuff pretty hard. So I kind of liked that. It's got that RuneQuest feel of lots of characters are like firing off magic in lots of directions. So.
Also, compared to these games, I mean, I'm thinking of the big ones that have this kind of attitude toward building characters with points. I think it makes a good effort in making what you spend points on kind of interesting. I mean, you don't feel. I've read that even this apparently silly stuff is very cheap, and
if you want it, you can get it. At the basic level,
and at first you have to do, because even if you put all your points, I mean, at some point I was going pedal to the metal with the dodging and that kind of stuff for combat, even if it's not a very good combat character, but it's cheap to spend.
You might as well be good at getting out of the way if you want. Right.
And then you have a lot of points to spend on the small things, because you so it's kind of interesting. Yes, there is a lot. The combat options are limited, but there is this very elaborate pairing system, and then there is there is stuff to do. I mean, it's
I mean, I think we're going to have to discover some of it. I mean, the easiest way is if we were playing full undiscovered, and we had all these different character races and a whole bunch of different emphases. You can bet that one player will maximize combat. They'll pick the right race. They'll pick the right weapons. they'll spend the points accordingly, and you'll get the one wicked, 2-weapon wielding, slayer. You'll get that guy. And in those circumstances, I would just say to that person, good, you read all the rules. Good.
Yeah.
When we get there is one. You tell us how we do this shit, right? Yeah.
I think that this is a public service announcement thing, but I was doing my character, and at some point I decided, okay, I don't really see him in armor. I can't afford it.
It's not a Duster thing.
No, me too.
Yeah.
So having armor, then changing into snake, and then trying to get out of that pile of
that is for dwarves. That is not for Dusters, right?
But I said I lived with humans, so at least I'm going to pick up. No, I can't afford this either, but I'm going to pick up using a shield. And then I started doing the shield, and it gives you penalties on dexterity and agility. And the game assumes that you are going to calculate how all of that affects you. So I decided I went for the shield that allows me not to change.
Right. In that
ability
case,
range.
I want this shield, right? I do not want that.
So there was one that was a bit better, but would bring me to have to shift in another category. And I was like, okay, no, I'm going to take the small shield that doesn't change anything because it's insane.
No, that's for it's clear that the game makes you choose. Are you going to be agile and hard to hit, or are you just going to say, no, I'm a mountain, and I'm going to soak it up. That's how it is, right? You have to choose. And it's very clear the Dusters are not built for armored combat, man to man, head to head. And that's fine. So I like them, slithery little bastards, right? It's kind of fun. So I will look forward, I'm going to see if I can measure up to what you guys have done and invested in already. I mean, that's one thing. I mean, I feel pressure is not the right word. I feel like there's a reason for me to throw myself into this now. So
nice.
And so we'll pick up with some activity and action and lots of characters next week. That's
Good.
Cool.
Good.
Awesome.
Nice to meet you again, Sam. I think.
Nice to meet all of you.
All right. Take care, guys. Good night.
Okay.
All right.
Good night.
See you. Thanks for